Howdy, and welcome back to my Let's Play series, and you're going to see something just now that's probably going to make the more OCD of you cry. If I don't crash. This boiler is full, is high temperature, producing steam, and unfortunately I have to tear it down. And that's because Railcraft has been corrupting my blocks. At least that's my best guess. So, unfortunately, I love Railcraft as a way to generate energy, but I'm going to have to take it out, so I'm very sorry. So, not sure if this will work, which is a really sad thing. He was trying to generate one. I don't know what my issue is now. That'll stay. I may have to go to Minecraft Edit and literally remove the blocks that way. Okay, well, I'm gonna go do that. And so a quick use of MC Edit later, and I've deleted my steam turbine and my boiler. I've got a corrupted block there. And this may just be, I don't know, placebo effect, but I think I'm already seeing it. I mean, if nothing else, my computer is booting up. I've got all of this. So, oh well, I'll just have to come up with a new power system. And to be honest, I think I still actually kept my one solar panel, so let me, and I've got a good amount of energy stored up. So, IC2. I've got a solar panel. I've got plenty of coal. I'm in a good place. So, now that that is done, that nasty business, let's see about moving. Somewhere beyond my draw distance, there is land. Just got rid of our nasty boiler that was holding us back. I hate saying that because I really like boilers. And got some solar panels to power our frame motors. And forward as we go. And a smarter person than me would immediately have backed up my world, but I've got a backup from before I deleted the boilers, so. So let's see if we can make it past the about 8 frames forward. That has been our stopping point so far.
And I'll probably keep the smokestack where it is. I mean, it was pretty much decorative to begin with, now it's just even more so. But we're on 6 of 10, or 6 of 100, and now we're on 7 of 100. And I can watch our progress. And I'm gonna wedge myself in here in the bed.
So that's 10. If the boiler was still in here, the boiler and the turbine would still be corrupting these. These walls would be, these frames would be turning invisible. And right around 8 or 10, depending on if I had the boiler there or not, that corrupted wall of blocks would hit this chest here. And now that the steam turbine's not there, we can go forward. So probably we can only go about 20 blocks forward without having to stop and let it recharge, because the amount of blue electric power that it takes to move frames is actually dependent on the number of frames. And I've got thousands of frames here, so I have no idea if that number stops, if that amount of energy needed stops increasing at the 1000 mark, or if I'm using more energy to move a blue electric frame than any frame motor has used. Maybe not ever before, but I'm probably up there. So we've got 25. And that's actually counting the redstone pulses, so if the blue electric power is cut or just out, then it will not, it'll still count that. It'll still count that as moving forward. But for the most part, it seems to be keeping up fairly well. I mean, we're to 26, and if we still had the boiler there, we would have crashed. So there's my dredge. 1 second. Okay, so we're about 33 there. I'm going to halt and then sleep through the night. And because of where I clicked, I think as soon as it moved me into the bed, it immediately clicked there and confused it. Regardless, it is now daytime. I'm going to check on the batteries, see how they're doing. They're probably pretty low. The batteries themselves are empty, but the network seems to be okay. So probably had just used through the bat box's storage, but at the same time I had been going a little bit into the night. So I'm going to let that run, let that recharge, and I will get back with you once I get it started again. And a brief respite for pausing later, and I realized that we could actually almost see our destination from here. A little bit bummed that it looks like it's another of the redwood forests that we that we just left. But not too bad. And apparently the door resets to closed. So we'll pretend like that was intentional. I guess I can't blame the chickens too much for glitching through the walls whenever the frames move. But it really takes very little amount of time for those batteries to recharge. Can't really see that one very well. Well, I guess you can. Yes, it goes through the batteries bat storage before it'll go through, well, rather, it goes through the easily available charge, and both battery boxes, whenever it drops below a certain level, will start resupplying that charge from their internal supplies. So, since that's the case, then 12 solar panels is not producing enough for the rate of speed that we're going, which isn't a huge issue. I mean, how often am I trying to move the boat very quickly? But yeah, got a little bit of a gaping hole there, but Getting some distance between me and the pit of infinite squids over here. Seems like it hasn't been too bad about squids, but then again, what is going on here? Just a drawing error. I really should be more leery about moving too far away from this when it's going, because I'm not entirely sure how clever the frames are about moving things beyond a chunk boundary whenever one chunk is loaded and the other is not. I don't believe they have any sort of built-in chunk loading, and that's one thing I haven't actually put in yet, is a chunk loader on this thing. Probably should do that eventually, but hadn't really been an issue because, well, I'm pretty much the only person on, or not, rephrase that. This is a single-player world, so I am the only person on, and I don't spend too much time in other places, so other than my little bit of jaunts to the Twilight Forest. Give that a little bit of time to redraw. Hopefully once I get past the point where that corrupted chunk will stay. And I tried deleting that with Minecraft Editor, so nice to know that I can somehow break things beyond the ability of deleting the chunk to regenerate it to fix. So well, I will get back with you once we get something interesting going on. And I'm just scouting ahead real fast. I really need to be much more leery about leaving that thing running. But it looks like it's a redwood forest, but it's only on the border of a snow boundary. It's not actually entirely covered with snow like the area we left originally was. Okay, still got my dredge. Probably could, turn that off or something, but yeah. And if you can glance out there where there may be monsters in there. The reason that would be, there is an empty space in the middle of there where I can't get a frame to touch. So there's a dark area there. I'm gonna shut that off and check my battery, because it probably could keep running, but getting low. So there's a dark area in here that I can't light up. I guess nothing spawned in there. I'm gonna sleep through the night. So last charge cycle in, and we should be able to move the last little bit until we get to that sandbar. So now I'm gonna wedge myself in here, aim forward, and put on some relaxing time-lapse music for you. So we're pretty much where we will be for a while. This is the edge of a forest and an ice biome. which is pretty much where we started from, but still it's an interesting place to explore. This redwood forest isn't covered with snow. It's, I guess, temperate would be the. And here's a skeleton with a enchanted bowl. Let's see if he'll drop it. No, doesn't look like. So anyway, now that that's done, I'm gonna try to work on some sort of replacement power system. And probably we'll put it right here in where the boiler used to be, or at least the turbine and the boiler. I'd like to get on a solar array, something that puts out comparable what the boiler was putting out, which would be about a medium voltage array. But I'm not sure how I'm going to do on resources. So I'm going to get working on that, and I'll get back with you once I've got that going. Okay. Well, originally I was starting on making a medium voltage solar panel, solar array, which ended up taking a whole lot more resources than I really even have close to be available. So for the middle term, if I can hit the ladder, this is my power system. Oh, that if I actually hooked up everything to wires. But yes, 6 generators. Each should be outputting about 60 EU a tick, which is roughly what my boiler was putting out. And the real reason I'm doing this is so that I can somewhat conceivably run my mass fabricator off of these. Now I've got a decent backlog of wood, and I can just throw the wood into the induction furnace to turn it into charcoal. So I mean, it's all renewable, but yeah, I mean, eventually I'll have the resources to do it, and I won't even have to mine anything now that I can I can generate UU matter. It's just I don't have the resources now to do that. So I will probably work on that semi off camera between other builds and such. But wanted to let you know what I was working on that. Because originally I was going to put all of the materials that I needed for, say, circuits, and I need like 2 stacks of circuits, and I hadn't even started on the generators yet. I was just going to get all those together. So, one last thing before I signed off on this episode. I was listening, and I think we have a visitor. So yes, that is easily dark enough for skeletons or monsters of all sorts to spawn. Where did that other one go? Oh, there it is. But now that I've been stupid, thank you for watching, and see you next time.